July the 30th, moths, tiger, ermines, hawkmoths, eggers and geometers. Nearly all the moths seen in June are still flying this month, although some, as often happens, only at the beginning of the month. This means July's list is truly enormous. Consequently, it is an excellent time to become acquainted with the main types of moth, and you might expect to see hawkmoths, carpets, wainscots, darts, eggers, tussocks, burnets, emeralds, noctuids, rustics, footmen, snouts, pugs, beauties, underwings and waves. Often their English name gives some slight clue to their identification. Because of their smaller size and dull colouring, many micromoths will go unnoticed. Wimbledon Common might be a reasonable place to start, with more than 100 different species recorded from moth traps there this month. As a rule, moths prefer drier places and more open patches of woodland, although we do tend to see many at bright windows or circling around streetlights. Unfortunately, studying London's moths is a depressing affair, with so many having become rare or extinct, but there are still enough to keep an entomologist busy for at least one lifetime. Amongst the most beautiful of all moths are the tigers, which are often mistaken for butterflies. Sadly, wood and cream spot tiger are all now extinct in London, although the latter sometimes turns up as a vagrant. However, London still has two, that is, the ruby and the garden tiger. The former has finished flying by June, but the garden tiger flies from mid-June to mid-August. Although it occurs all over the city, it seems to have a preference for East London. It is unmistakable with its deep chocolate and creamy white forewings and brick red hindwings with inky blue spots. These warning colours deter birds, which seem to find them distasteful, and consequently the moths seem to make little effort to hide away during the day. A rare form with a completely red abdomen has been recorded at Addington, and there are others which show more orange or even primrose yellow. Closely related to the tigers are the equally impressive ermines. It is the white ermine we tend to see in London, which is a dazzling white with numerous black spots, as its name suggests. It is both common and widespread, and always gets noticed when seen at rest, which may even be in central London. They fly in the first half of the month, whereas the equally common buff ermine can be seen the whole of July. This latter species is more of a buff yellow, with just a few dashes and dots on its wings. There are 17 species of moth that either live here or visit Britain, and all of them have been recorded in London at one time or another. They are unmistakably large, fast-flying moths with fat bodies and pointed wings, which are either brightly coloured or finely patterned. They catch our attention mainly because of their fast flight. The hummingbird hawkmoth has been confused for the actual hummingbird, as like other hawkmoths it can hover with blurred wings in front of flowers, projecting its long proboscis to suck the nectar. This is a powerful insect and is capable of flying over 100 miles a day from its home in southern Europe to reach our gardens here in Britain. The more common hawkmoths seen last month, that is the lime-eyed and poplar, all cease to fly in July. The elephant hawkmoth ceases in the first week, although the less common small elephant hawkmoth may continue to the middle of the month. The pine hawkmoth just makes an occasional rare appearance. The eggers are another small but impressive group of moths. They tend to be large and brown, with some having the egg-shaped markings which give the group its name. They include such famous names as the oak egger, the drinker, the lackey and the lappet. The latter seems to have disappeared, possibly due to the removal of many of the blackthorn hedges which its caterpillars feed on. The oak egger is possibly the best known, as it flies during the day, with a distinctive zigzag flight on heaths or along woodland edges, trying to locate a female scent plume. It is a large brown moth with pale yellow band across its wings and two bright white eyes lined in black. In the case of the drinker, it is the caterpillar which is responsible for its name, due to its habit of drinking dewdrops. The adult male is reddish-brown and the female more yellow. Both adopt a distinctive paddle shape at rest and have a fine line crossing the centre of their wings, as well as two small eyes on their forewings. Occasionally the sexes swap colours, but can still be told apart looking at their antennae. The male has large feathery antennae, and those of the female are much smaller and indistinct. The lackey is similar to the other eggers, that has two fine parallel lines crossing its wings rather than one. It also has a checkered edge to its wings. It prefers open areas, but does visit central gardens where sometimes its caterpillars can reach pest proportions. Another larger and more important group of moths are particularly abundant at this time of year are the geometers. They get their name from the way their caterpillars move with geometric precision. They are the familiar looper, stick, earth measure, or inchworm caterpillars we saw earlier in the year, but now we can see the adults. They look like butterflies, having such large wings and small bodies. Although they tend to be dull in colour, many do have fine patterns and spotting. The family is huge, including large numbers of pugs, carpets, waves, as well as browntails, emeralds, underwings, beauties, ushers, umbers, mockers, heaths, and thorns. The species that tend to catch our attention are the more striking emeralds, underwings, and magpie moths, as well as the brimstone, engrailed, barred straw, barred yellow, purple thorn, and peppered moth. Particularly common and widespread species include the ribboned wave, small fan-footed wave, July high flyer, and the willow beauty. The latter is often caught in large numbers, especially if there are any willows about. One of the most beautiful geometers is undoubtedly the swallowtail. It is unmistakable with its pale yellow wings with cross lines and pointed tips to its hind wings. It is often seen in overgrown cemeteries where its food plant ivy is covering the monuments. The magpie is also known as the currant moth, as it shows a marked preference for gooseberries. Both the caterpillar and the adult have distinct black, white, orange, yellow, and cream markings. The silver grand carpet has pearly wings with a dark crossband and is usually found where primroses are common. The willow beauty is usually brown, but there is also an attractive smoky grey form in the London area. Its caterpillars are unusual, choosing to eat the normally poisonous yew. The purple thorn is another attractive species worth looking for. It has jagged edges to its wings like other thorns, but has more purple rather than usual yellow-brown colours of the thorns. Its stip-like caterpillars are often seen on sycamores. Few adult moths or even butterflies produce a pure green pigment, even though there are hundreds of different green caterpillars. Another group of geometers, the emeralds, are the exception. The large emerald is the most impressive. It prefers birch woods, although it is found in gardens as long as there is some birch around. Like most emeralds, it is pale green, which really stands out, especially when seen in moonlight. The blotched emerald conveniently has two brown blotches on its green wings, which help to distinguish it. It prefers oak woodland, whereas the small emerald is more likely to be seen on downland. The common emerald is both common and widespread, and seems to favour gardens. Its jade green quickly fades to grey-green, making it easily confused with the little emerald, which is slightly smaller and usually much lighter in colour. Lastly, in this confusing group, the grass emerald tends to be more of a blue-green, but also is the only one to have dark lines on its wings. It can often be encouraged to show itself by gently tapping gorse bushes on heaths.